first starting with that Idaho State game. I mean, 29 points. You were taking over, hitting logo threes. Just what was clicking on Saturday?
I think just the energy from my teammates, my bench. I had a moment on our game against Weber where I passed up an open three, and Coach Ben's like, anytime you get an open three, just take it. Like, don't be afraid to miss. And that kind of instilled that confidence in me for the rest of that Weber game, and then obviously the Idaho State game. But I think sometimes you're just feeling it, and it was one of those games.
Yeah, how do you guys generate energy on those tough road trips? Because the Big Sky road trips are so tough.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to play in Pocatello. I think they have a great crowd there, and so just making sure like we're all staying together throughout whatever happens in the game. Like, make sure we're not getting down on ourselves. We're like constantly just lifting each other up, being positive. Our coaches do a great job of that too. They're never really getting down on us ever. So, just focusing on the positives throughout it.
You had the second buzzer beater, and then right after that, you have that like logo shot clock buzzer beater. What's going through your mind? I mean, you had set a career high for that by that second one. So like, what kind of was going through your mind as you're just kind of making everything you're looking at?
I was actually laughing on the court because I was just so appalled that last three went in. I was like, oh my goodness, I don't think I've ever hit a three from that deep. But it was funny. Me and Taylor were just kind of like throwing up shots from that distance the night before, just like after. And I was just kind of thinking about that and laughing how we had just practiced that exact shot the night before. So, yeah.
Have you ever felt quite in the zone like that game?
Not from three, honestly. Like, I don't consider myself too much of a three-point shooter or specialist, you could say. But no, I just felt like I was in the zone and wasn't going to pass up any open looks I got.
As I said, one of the takeaways from that game is the team's rebounding and how that needs to improve going forward. What is the messaging been like, all around and from your coaching staff in terms of just how you get better in that area?
Yeah, I think like reflecting off those two games, like that's going to be something that's making a difference, especially with this coming game against the Grizz. So, making sure that's an emphasis from us. Like, we can't start our next possession until we finish the play on our end. So making sure we're just like executing those like small, simple things like doubling down, boxing out, checking our girl. Like, that's something that it might seem small in the moment, but like as the game keeps going and going, like that's something that's going to keep other teams in the game against us. So I think that's definitely going to be an emphasis this week.
The Grizz ended up are still the closest conference game you've had this year. What other sort of takeaways or learning lessons as the team reflected on from that game in terms of you have a big lead and then it's kind of narrowed down at the end?
Yeah.
Try to learn from it now.
Yeah, I think we took a lot of risks at the end of that game, and we weren't, in our defensive mindset that we usually are in. So making sure we're just staying disciplined with what we do every day. We practice a certain style of play, and just making sure we're staying in that and not trying to branch outside of ourselves based on, crowd, atmosphere, emotions. So just staying composed and doing what we do for the whole 40 minutes.
Are you seeing this team get any hungrier at all as the season grows older? Not necessarily to keep the winning streak going, though. Of course, it's a nice byproduct. But just how do you all just approach when you only have a couple regular season games left?
Yeah, I think, the end's in sight and it's just around the corner. Big Sky's coming up, and we got Grizz this weekend. Obviously a lot of motivation with that game. It's a huge game to have here in the Brick, but I think also we got senior night coming up for some of our girls, and we just want to finish strong for them. They deserve it. We all want to put a ring on our finger, so making sure we're just finishing strong to execute.
You had to carry such a load offensively last season. You and a couple other players, just with how many injuries there were on your team. What's it like to have the depth this year and to see that kind of transpire over the season?
Yeah, well, I mean, my body feels great. I think if you asked me this time last year, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't even get up in the morning. But it's great having depth because, someone's going to step up no matter who we play. And that's been showing this season. Like, we're always going to have someone that's going to have a great game. So having that, like, it's not like a backup plan, but like, it's like someone's going to be on and we're just going to find that person. And we work together like as a team to find that person. Esme does a really good job of facilitating. I think she had 3 assists on 3 of my threes against Idaho State. Like, when she's not on, she's doing a great job facilitating. And so, yeah, we're just moving the ball as a team and just finding whoever's open. So it's great.
Speaking of depth, Bailey's been incredible on the defensive end. In your opinion, how much impact does she give defensively for this team?
Yeah, she provides so much just energy-wise. Like, she's that spark we need coming off the bench. She's a great, just like someone that's going to come in, do what we need to do for the game. So if that's going in and getting steals, working hard, diving for loose balls, she's just a menace to play against, I think. I wouldn't want to play against her if I was bringing up the ball. So just having her as that spark of energy coming off the bench, so there's no, drop off when the starters are coming off. I think that's just been such an added punch for our team this season.
You already mentioned the atmosphere a little bit. We saw a great environment here against NAU, but just what makes this Cat-Griz week different compared to other past?
Yeah, I think Montana's passionate about like sports. That's something I've discovered since moving here from Canada. We love our Bobcats. They also love the Grizz over there. So coming into the Brick, they're gonna have some challenges with the crowd. We know Bobcat Nation loves to show up for us, and so yeah, it's gonna be a fun night.
Are you excited for the gold uniforms? Have you seen them?
I am. I'm wearing the gold shorts right now from last year, but I have seen them. They're awesome. So it's gonna be a good gold rush.